What first appeared to be a minor irritation has become a live. Each bird chooses a different. Beneath its thick coat, countless parasites have attached. Rest offers no relief, because every movement beneath it shakes, scratches, and twists its body. Yet each step becomes slower as blood loss, sleeplessness. The river cools the inflamed skin for a moment, but hunger forces it to rise, even as it's weakened. At first light, the wetlands appear peaceful, untouched, and full of life. But beyond the safety of the herd, one animal has quietly separated itself from the others. Its movements are slow, its breathing is heavy, and every step seems to demand more strength. Beneath its thick coat, countless parasites have attached themselves to the most sensitive areas of its body. Some are newly arrived, while others have fed for days, growing heavier with every passing hour. What first appeared to be a minor irritation has become a living burden spread across almost its entire body. Separated from the herd, it carries its suffering alone, unable to remove the creatures draining its strength. As its strength begins to fade, unseen eyes from the trees are starting to notice the parasites covering its body. Rest offers no relief, because every movement beneath its fur brings another wave of irritation.
Around the eyes and ears, the parasites gather where the skin is softest and most difficult to protect.
It shakes, scratches, and twists its body, yet the creatures remain anchored beyond the reach of its feet. Even the roughest bark removes only a few, while the strongest parasites refuse to release their grip. Each step becomes slower as blood loss, sleeplessness, and constant irritation begin to drain its remaining strength. The herd can see its weakness, but instinct keeps the others at a distance from an animal struggling to endure. The river cools the inflamed skin for a moment, but water alone cannot dislodge parasites built to hold on. Its condition is worsening, but above the riverbank, a group of silent observers is beginning to understand what covers its body. Hunger forces it to rise, even as its weakened body struggles to support its own weight. Even feeding has become difficult, because the parasites have reached the skin around its face, throat, and jaw. Its strength is fading so quickly that even soft mud has become a dangerous obstacle. The hidden folds beneath its body now shelter some of the largest and most deeply attached parasites.
Rain washes dust from its coat, but it cannot remove creatures designed to remain attached through water and movement.
With nowhere else to go, it returns to the tree and lies down, too exhausted to continue searching for relief. From above, the birds are no longer watching the capybara itself, but the thousands of parasites moving across its coat.
As the capybara reaches the limit of its strength, one bird finally prepares to move closer.
Driven by curiosity and hunger, the first bird finally leaves the safety of the branches. The weakened animal notices the visitor, but it has little strength left to retreat.
To the bird, the creatures covering the capybara are not a threat, but an abundant source of food.
Within moments, others follow, each one drawn toward the same moving clusters beneath the wet fur. The first contact startles the capybara, whose instincts still warn it against anything touching its vulnerable body. Slowly, the capybara begins to understand that these visitors are searching for the parasites, not its flesh. Too exhausted to resist and desperate for relief, the capybara finally allows the birds to move closer. Then, with one precise movement, the first parasite is removed, and an extraordinary natural partnership begins. Once the first parasite is removed, the other birds recognize that the capybara will allow them to continue. Each bird chooses a different area, turning the capybara's suffering into a shared feeding opportunity. Behind the ears, precise beaks reach parasites the capybara could never remove by itself. For the first time in many days, the animal begins to relax as the constant irritation slowly decreases. Even the most delicate areas around the eyes are cleaned with remarkable precision and restraint. As more birds arrive, the cleaning spreads from the capybara's head and shoulders toward the rest of its body. The capybara now cooperates, exposing the hidden areas where the heaviest clusters have remained protected. The worst of the burden has been lifted, and for the first time, the capybara's strength begins to return. With the heaviest parasites gone, the capybara finally finds enough strength to stand again. The movement that once caused pain now reveals how much of the burden has already disappeared.
Still weak but no longer overwhelmed, it returns to the river with a steadier step and a clearer purpose.
For the first time since its suffering began, the capybara moves back toward the safety of its herd. When it steps back onto the bank, the animal is still exhausted, but the helplessness in its eyes has begun to fade. For the first time since its suffering began, the capybara moves back toward the safety of its herd.
Surrounded by its companions once more, it can finally eat, rest, and begin rebuilding the strength it lost.
In the wild, survival is not always achieved alone. Sometimes, relief arrives on the wings of an unexpected ally.